top 10 best Man United strikers ever. Did you know that Manchester United were the first team to score over 2,000 goals in the Premier League era? And they have a lot of prolific strikers to thank for this amazing feat. However, which of these strikers fall into the top 10 best Man United strikers of all time? Let's find out. Starting at number 10, we have Stan Pearson. Pearson was a local lad, and he was one of the stars of Matt Busby's first great team. He made a big impression by providing 4 assists on his debut against Chesterfield in 1937. However, he didn't really come to prominence until after World War II, when his goals helped United win the league title in 1952. Like Cole and York, he and striking partner Jack Rowley had a close to telepathic connection that allowed them to combine for 52 of the team's 95 goals throughout the title-winning campaign. He was only 2 goals behind Ruud van Nistelrooy when he retired in 1953 with 148 goals in 343 games, which was enough to make him the 12th highest goalscorer in the team's history. He scored 5 hat-tricks while he was a player at Manchester United, 4 in the league and 1 in the FA Cup. His first came in a 5-0 victory over Liverpool in 1946, and he scored all 3 goals as United defeated Derby County 3-1 at Hillsborough in Sheffield in the FA Cup semi-finals in 1948. His hat-trick against Liverpool in September 1946 occurred at Maine Road, and it would be the last time a Manchester United player would score a hat-trick against the Anfield club, until Bulgarian Dimitar Berbatov scored all 3 of United's goals in a 3-2 league victory at Old Trafford in September 2010. Number 9. Mark Hughes. Although Hughes enjoyed 2 stints at United, his true effect came during the second. Most notably, he scored twice to lift United to victory against his former club Barcelona in the 1991 European Cup Winners' Cup final. Thanks in large part to the tree trunks that passed for his thighs, he was a master at holding the ball up. Hughes was also fond of the spectacular, and only a couple of his 163 goals were tap-ins. Throughout his playing career, he won numerous awards, including 2 Premier League titles, 4 FA Cups, 3 League Cups, and 2 UEFA Cup Winners' Cups. Additionally, he received the League Cup and FA Cup runner-up medal. Although Hughes became the first player to win the PFA Players Player of the Year award twice when he won it in 1989 and 1991. Number 8. Joe Spence. Between World War I and World War II, Joe Spence was the star man at Manchester United. It's incredible that he never won a major trophy in his career. During his 14-year tenure at the club, from 1919 to 1933, historians agree he was locally regarded as Mr. Soccer, and the catchphrase "Give it to Joe" was the most sung terrace chant at Old Trafford. He made an immediate impact at Old Trafford, netting 4 goals in a 5-1 Lancashire section thrashing of Bury on his debut. His official debut came in August when the league season resumed, and he was a model of consistency thereafter. He made 510 appearances for Man United and scored 168 goals. Number 7. Cristiano Ronaldo. Cristiano didn't really play as a striker during his first stint at Man United, hence why he isn't on top of this list. He scored over 800 club career goals in his long career, but he's only managed 144 in his 2 spells at Man United. And this is because he started as a midfielder before moving on to play as a winger. He only began to play as an out-and-out striker when he moved to Real Madrid. He joined Manchester United in 2003 when he was 18 years old, winning the FA Cup that year. At the age of 23, he won his first Ballon d'Or. He would then go on to win the Champions League, the FIFA Club World Cup, and 3 straight Premier League titles. Ronaldo's first hat-trick for United came in a 6-0 victory over Newcastle United on January 12, 2008, and he added 2 more in 2022 victories over Tottenham and Norwich. He won the Premier League Golden Boot and the European Golden Shoe for his 31 league goals in the 2007-2008 season, making him the first winger to receive the latter honour. During the 2021-22 season, when Man United were going through tough times that led to the sacking of club legend Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Ronaldo still managed to score 18 league goals. He might not be Man United's greatest striker, but he's definitely one of the best players to ever play the sport. Number 6. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. The former Manchester United player and manager was the definition of a super sub for Manchester United while he was a player. He arrived with less of a splash, but eventually became one of the club's most adored players, a true legend. Ferguson consistently used the Norwegian as a sub to change the game when the squad needed him, earning him the nickname Super Sub for his consistent performances. His winning goal in the 1999 Champions League final was arguably one of United's most important goals in club history. For the majority of the game, United were behind by 1 goal, but 2 goals from Teddy Sheringham and 1 from Solskjaer gave the Red Devils a legendary triple. On a fateful day in 1999, when Manchester United were leading Premier League rival Nottingham Forest 4-1, Sir Alex Ferguson brought on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer for Dwight Yorke, who didn't seem too happy to come off as he was on a hat-trick. Solskjaer didn't pay attention to his whiny teammate though, and 12 minutes was enough for him to score 4 goals. Solskjaer scored in the 80th and 88th minutes, then added 2 stoppage time goals to give United a memorable 8-1 triumph on the anniversary of the Munich air disaster. Number 5. Ruud van Nistelrooy. Van Nistelrooy was an exceptional goalscorer, and he had a nose for a goal like no other. He scored 150 goals in only 200 starts over 5 years at the club. His record speaks for itself. He was able to win the Community Shield, FA Cup, League Cup and Premier League during that time, and could usually be relied on to find the back of the net. Van Nistelrooy scored 23 goals in 32 league appearances during his debut season. He scored in 8 straight league games, breaking the record he had previously held with Mark Stein, Alan Shearer and Thierry Henry. He was also voted the PFA Players Player of the Year and scored 10 goals in the Champions League. With 25 goals in 34 games the next season, he won the Golden Boot ahead of Thierry Henry of Arsenal, thanks to a goal against Everton on the final day of the season. His tally included 3 hat-tricks, 1 each against Charlton Athletic, Fulham and Newcastle United. He also scored in each of United's final 8 games to secure the title. In 2003, Van Nistelrooy was named Premier League Player of the Year. He was recognised as being the driving force behind United's title victory, thanks to the number of goals he scored. He was also named the best striker in Europe by UEFA, after scoring 12 goals in the Champions League in 9 consecutive matches. Number 4. Andy Cole. Andy Cole was a straight gunman. Cole needed some time to settle in at Old Trafford after being signed for what was at the time a club record £6.25 million. But once he got going, he was impossible to stop. His predatory instincts were unmatched, and in 275 games for United, he scored 121 goals, including a Premier League record 5 goals in a 9-0 victory over Ipswich. In addition to super subs Terry Sheringham and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, his attack partnership with Dwight Yorke was one of the best in football history, propelling the Red Devils to the biggest triumph in English football history in the 1998-99 season. Number 3. Eric Cantona. Eric Cantona was the most stylish player ever to have graced Old Trafford. The Frenchman joined United in 1992 for just £1.2 million from United's bitter rivals Leeds, and he later proved to be a smart acquisition. In his short stint with the club, he led United to 4 Premier League titles and 2 FA Cup honours. The forward was a completely distinct individual with an aura befitting of his legendary team. Cherished by United supporters, at the age of 30, Cantona made the decision to hang up his boots. Even though his retirement shocked the entire world, he will go down in history as one of the most gifted forwards to ever wear the United jersey. It says a lot that despite arriving from Leeds, only staying in Manchester for 5 years and retiring at the age of 30, he is regarded by some as the team's all-time greatest player because he turned the tide at Old Trafford like no other player has. Although he is 3rd on this list, he easily could have been number 1. Number 2. Denis Law. There is a statue of Denis Law outside Old Trafford for a reason, and that alone would likely be sufficient to make him 2nd on this list. It is even more surprising that Law is still adored by so many for his exploits in a red shirt, because it was actually his goal, as a player for Derby rivals Manchester City, that resulted in the only relegation in Manchester United's history. The Lawman is truly one of the greatest players Old Trafford has ever seen, making up 1/3 of United's fabled Holy Trinity. He is the only Scottish player to have ever won the Ballon d'Or, and his 46 goals from the 1934 to 1964 season still stand as the club record. His 28 league goals that year helped United regain the league title for the first time since the Munich air disaster. Law who served Manchester United for 11 years and scored 237 goals in 404 games, is the club's third highest scorer all time. With George Best and Sir Bobby Charlton, Law helped the team recover from its worst tragedy and guide them to one of their greatest glories. Finally, at number 1 we have Wayne Rooney, the club's all-time leading scorer, with 253 goals scored throughout 559 appearances in which he played anywhere from attacking midfield to deeper midfield. The player, who scored a hat-trick in his Champions League debut at Old Trafford at the age of 18, right after making a big money move. The man who, in the Manchester derby no less, scored what is arguably the best goal Old Trafford has ever seen. The only player to have both over 200 goals and 100 assists in Premier League history. The man, the myth, the legend, Wayne Rooney. In addition to being the club's all-time best striker, Rooney is also possibly the greatest player in club history. Wazza earns the first rank on our list as a truly original football player who, if not for Ronaldo and Messi's supremacy, would have won the Ballon d'Or at least one time. What do you think about this list? Let us know down in the comment section. Also, make sure to watch this video in the link, and if you like our content, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on your notifications. On the screen now should be another great video worth watching, so click on that video and we will see you in the next one.